Hello, and welcome to another episode of No Small Roles, a D&D podcast where there are no small roles, and this episode is dedicated to the number 23, because 2 plus 3 makes 5,
Yeah.
and 5 is the number of players in our party.
And it's my favourite number, and I know you're taking a piss, but I don't care, because I like
It's
it.
a dangerous number to get involved with.
Well, we'll find out.
Oh, it's perfect. Perfect.
I'm David Knight, your Dungeon Master, and I'm joined by these pure enigmas, so say hi everyone.
Hello.
Hello, number 23 is the best number.
I'm genuinely going to go and rewatch that Jim Carrey film.
I've never seen that film. I think it might put me off the number.
No, you need to watch it. It's brilliant. We'll watch it together whilst I
Okay.
cue the theme tune.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
We'll see you in 2 hours.
Prepare your party of players and polyhedral dice. Your tragic backstory better be worth the sacrifice. Seize your sheets and D20. Let's play D&D. Your haggard characters, swaggers with daggers in each hand. You've all discussed what you must, but even better laid plans. Take a turn when checks are missed.
Roll initiative. Brandish your blades. Don't fail your saves. No risk too great, no choice to roll. This is your story. No guts, no glory. Confront your fate with every roll. Every
A hero rises inside, one who will pay the price. Their chance of success will rest upon the dice. No risk too great, no choice too bold.
This is No Small Roles.
So, as your journey continued, the problem of the Pied Pipe taunted you each night, causing Orin and Juna to approach Gaius whilst he slept. When Gaius tried to hide the flute inside Juna's tea caddy, not a euphemism, it played a torturous tune until he retrieved it. Unsure of how to proceed, you headed on to Rost Hall, hoping to find someone to help you with the situation. Rost Hall itself was in a state of relaxing after a shape-changing serial killer known as the Faceless Footman had been apprehended and was due for execution the following day. Curious, you all headed for the garrison, an old converted fort that housed the prison, as well as a tempting library. Turning Ruana into a mouse, Juna watched her familiar navigate the corridors of the prison in hopes of spying the killer, but found nothing to further what you already knew. You discussed next steps, mentioning the cursed flute, and as you set off to research, you were stopped by a shady human, Jarek, who offered help from an organisation that he worked for, the tattoo on his neck revealing himself to be a member of the Hex. And that's where we're at. So he's just approached you, he's been like, yeah, you know, like a cursed flute? Yeah, I know some people who can help with that.
Yeah, I summon a packed weapon. It's brass knuckles, and I was like, yeah, know exactly who you're working for.
I was just offering help, wasn't it? If you don't want no help, I can see that...
Actually, Orin,
Yeah.
what do you think? Do you think we need this guy's help?
I don't think we need this guy's help.
alright. I don't want no trouble. I just thought I heard someone who needed some help. I would offer my services in the best way that I could. I can see that is not wanted, so I bid you all a very good evening, and I will go away sharpish. How's that? No trouble, no trouble.
Yeah, I don't think you'd like my friend here when he's not best pleased. So I'd clear off if I were you.
You were going to say angry, weren't you?
So, and Perry Moppins was probably going close to the line. So,
Yeah, all right. And he backs up. If you do need any help, if you change your minds or nothing, or something, you can find me at the Wise Man's Nook. I'm staying there for the evening, all right?
noted.
On your way now.
All right. Well, pleasure speaking with you, and thanks for listening.
And on for now.
What?
Never mind.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought you was... No, all right, never mind. And he turns and walks off again.
Why didn't you want his help?
He's a member of the Hex. Why? What good ever comes from aligning ourselves with these people?
Well, I've never allied myself with them in the past. I mean, you're the people that know about them. I just wanted to check, if we can find a way to help Gaius. And sometimes we might have to get close to shady people, perhaps to get the help that we need. I mean, this is a shady pipe.
I'm sorry, Gwendolyn, but I draw the line with the Hex.
Yeah, I've got to agree with Akidu there. There's some people, Gwendolyn, that just you don't want to deal with.
Okay, then, so we stay away from the Hex
Yep.
until we can't not stay away from the Hex.
Usually how it turns out.
Right, well, Gaius, I hope you like Orion and Juno watching you whilst you sleep.
What are you saying?
That we haven't found a solution yet.
Are you saying you would have wanted his help?
I don't know, that's what I'm asking.
I think what Gwen's trying to say is that we do need some help.
We need some help.
And yeah,
Not from
whilst we don't want to get involved with the Hex, we need to find someone, don't we, Gwen?
Yeah.
So Gaius might have to put up with it for a little while longer.
I think we want help from literally anyone else.
Literally.
Right, well, seeing as Jarek... has he gone? Is he far enough away?
Yeah, he's wandered far enough down the street that you're quite happy he can't hear you anymore.
Shall we continue with what we were about to do?
Oh, yeah. Library?
Me, Juna, and Enkidu, we were going to go and talk to the guards. You two were going to pop into the library, and we'll meet you there as soon as we found anything. We might not be fruitful either.
Okay, deal. Take that quest hook and stick it in your pocket, David.
Oh, yeah.
Jarek will remember this. So, you all sort of make your way back closer toward the garrison, and there are a few guards sort of stood. Even though the gates themselves have been removed, there are a few guards stationed there now, who sort of hold up a hand as you approach. They go, that's it for tonight, no more entries.
Oh!
Don't worry, it'll be open when the sun rises again tomorrow.
Oh, that's a shame. We were just, we're new in town. We're just, doing a bit of tourist sightseeing. Such a shame when we get here just after closing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. Like, if you come back tomorrow, then there'll be a whole execution on that. You're welcome to stay and watch.
Oh, wow. Do you know what? It'll probably be very crowded tomorrow, and, well, I'm not so good with crowds, you see. I wonder, I'm so interested in the architecture of this sort of area, whether you might be so kind as to give us a little tour just whilst we're here. I really don't want to put you out, but I just wonder if
just
you
would
might...
so like to see it, wouldn't
so
we?
like to see it, just to...
Oh, that's...
while it's not
like to see
crowded.
it.
I mean, I really
you're
hope to get
welcome.
here sooner.
Unfortunately, I can't leave my post right this second. None of us can. That's why we're positioned here.
Ooh,
But
We respect that, don't we?
Yes, of
Don't
course,
We
yes,
respect that
yes.
you can't leave.
but like you're welcome to come back tomorrow. And looks over his shoulder, and goes, and I'll be honest, they only let people into the library who are interested in the books. So if you wanted a less crowded area to get a good view, that'd be the one. But you didn't hear that from me.
Oh. No, of course not.
How so anyone can go in the library, can they?
Oh yeah, it's public. Yeah. No appointments or nothing. You just obviously have to be there. You got to respect the books. No candles, that kind of thing.
Look at Enkidu.
You don't have to earn your place there as like a scholar or anything like that?
I mean, no, they got like dedicated librarians that run the place, and they'll help you out if you're looking for something.
If we wanted to see this faceless footman, is he inside there?
In the prison, yeah.
He's inside there.
Yeah. Under lock and key, don't worry. Perfectly safe. We've got him. We've got him now.
That's of course why I was
he's not-
asking.
Yeah, but I can't
I'm gonna-
let you in. If you are interested in seeing him, hopefully it'll be a show tomorrow.
Well, quite, yes. I'm going to, whilst we're sort of babbling away, I'm going to just sort of lightly tap my staff on the floor a couple of times, and I am going to cast Detect Thoughts,
God.
as Gwen suggested.
So yeah, the few guards, sort of 2 or 3. Well, there's 2 that you can see and 1 sort of just a little way off in the courtyard. They all ping up as options for you to listen into. There are, within the walls of the garrison, you can sense that there are a few more people nearby as well. What's the distance? How far away can you?
30 feet. People that I can see.
So you can't hear anything coming from inside the prison. You can only see, the few people up on the walls and the guards in the courtyard that you can see milling about. And there's still a couple of workmen preparing the last of the gallows, giving it a little test to make sure that the
one of them's giving it a go.
Drawn the short straw.
Got to make sure it works.
I don't think Gwendolyn's ever seen a gallows before. It's making her uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to read the guards' thoughts, mainly the ones that we're talking to.
One of them is quite hungry. You get that impression. And that is just looking forward to his next break. The sort of a woman stood with him is just keeping an eye on all 5 of you. They're like, she's still a little bit in that suspicious mindset that had been put into the populace, into the citizens. So like, she's sort of staring at the 5 of you being like, okay, you're tourists is what you say, but can I trust you? Are you more shapeshifters that are about to go on a rampage? You know, all of those kinds of like nervous thoughts.
So that's it.
Unless you push deeper into.
What would Juna do?
Juna knows that he'll find out.
Yeah. No, I think she's not gonna. They're too new in town. She sort of shoots Gwen a look and just sort of like shakes her head a bit.
Well, thank you so much for giving us all that information. We really appreciate how hospitable you've been. We really do hope we get to have a good look at the architecture tomorrow.
Yeah, like I say, you're welcome back. And to be honest, after the thing, it will happen late morning, about lunchtime, just before. You're welcome to look around afterwards and that as well. The crowd will be gone by then, hopefully, is what I'm meaning.
That's good. Yes, crowds do a bit much for me, really.
Yeah, completely.
I hear you got help from an arcanist to capture this faceless footman. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's what happens when the lord of your town is so high up. You know, we get a little bit extra help here and there.
Yeah. Oh, I imagine the lord is hosting the arcanist at the moment at their home on the other hill.
I don't know about that. I assume that the arcanist might be staying there, but Lord Rostal don't really stay in town that often.
Oh yes, we heard that. That's strange, isn't it?
Do you know who the arcanist is?
Eovet was the name.
Eovet.
Half-elf chap. Pale skin. Lovely. Very polite.
How can you verify that the prisoner is indeed the shapeshifter?
I don't know. I've not been stationed over there.
Over where?
Like with him.
But you feel confident that he has been caught, it is the right person.
I mean, that's what the arcanist says, yeah. And to be honest, when we pulled him into the cell, like, he was doing that shape-changing thing, so it makes sense.
Oh. What shape is he in at the moment?
I don't know. Last I saw, he was a woman.
He can't shape change into, like, I don't know, something crazy like a mouse and just get out through the cells?
I don't think so. I don't think it was like that. It was like his, like, what was weird about it is that it was, like, people that he could see. And like people in the town that I recognised quite a few of the faces that he was doing.
Wow! Did he do you?
Sort of like a pale look, almost like it's like a little bit.
Oh!
Wow!
That must have been scary.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to him being hanged tomorrow. So
right. Here's a bit of truth, friend. The 5 of us are freelancers who have come up from Berrien's fields. So as I take it, Lord Rostal is allied with Lord Berrien.
I don't know none about that.
Well, that is the current state of things, and the 2 of them have an understanding. They share personnel, intel, a few soldiers and people who move around off the books, and we've been sent to verify a particular situation. We weren't told what it was that was happening in this town, and this seems to be it. We have to make a report tomorrow to a certain somebody. I lean in and whisper, I'm like, the word is that Prevost might be involved in this attempt, and we're here to verify that is not the case. Is the case, but we need something to go back with. And we just want to have a look and verify. And maybe see if this person has ties to Prevost, and we could put this thing to bed.
Obviously, you need to make a deception check.
Good cover.
That's a strong story as well, yeah.
This is my bag.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's a 10 altogether.
He sort of looks at you and goes, you're welcome to chat to the arcanist about it.
That would be helpful.
Yeah. Like I say, I think he's over at the Red House. I assume that's where he's been put up at least. There's no fancier rooms than that round here. But yeah, beyond that, like beyond the reports of the other murders, I mean, I've got no authority to let you in. But again, once it's all done tomorrow and like the old thing's cleared up, you're welcome to come chat to the captain.
Thank you. That's helpful.
No worries. Anything else I can do for you all tonight?
No, thank you for telling us what you've told us.
Thank you.
No worries.
We'll be back to look at the architecture, won't we?
Yeah. Yeah, and like obviously, like I say, if you want to sneak in before, otherwise you can wait till the crowd's done. That's fine.
Oh,
too.
what time does the library open?
Sunrise, basically.
Sunrise.
Yeah. Librarians, they live on site, so it's...
Wow, they live on site.
So you all sort of edge away from the gate. I can't remember, Gaius, did you buy rooms at the last inn that Bessie's currently at?
No, I left it to the group. I didn't want to assume.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, obviously you've not paid for rooms. You've got no accommodation currently for the evening.
Should we go down and have a look at these Tabby Cat and the Wise
I
Man's
don't really fancy
Nook
the Wise Man's Nook.
Neither do I.
Or the Flying Filly?
Fine,
Where
Philly.
Bessie
Stay
is?
with Bessie.
Tabby Cat or the Flying
Bessie.
Filly sound good to me.
I don't suppose we could try and stay at the Red House. What with my connections? We could try and wangle it.
Oh, I like that.
I am well up for that.
Yeah,
Worst comes to worst, we go and stay in an inn instead.
true.
Certainly gives us an opportunity to try and talk to the Arcanist.
I'd like
Absolutely.
to learn about this faceless fellow before they're killed.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely am a fan of checking out if we can have a chat with this Arcanist before the execution.
Just remind me, gang, why are we caring so much about this faceless guy?
I think it's more about the Arcanist, isn't it? And not necessarily trusting the Arcanists.
I'm actually more interested in the faceless fellow, who they work for.
I just have a horrible
Why?
feeling that the person who they've got to execute tomorrow isn't the right person.
I mean,
But like
Yeah.
the Arcanists are like clever fellows and things like that, and they they're a bit weird and dodgy sometimes. But like, why would an Arcanist lie about?
well, we've already met an
About
Arcanist
this
who
faceless
lied.
Well, the Arcanist might be the faceless footman.
Or hired the faceless person. It's very clear the consortium have their own agenda. They could have wanted to remove Lord Rostov for whatever reason.
Okay, so why don't we just go to the Red House as Gwen suggests, and go and speak to the Arcanist forthwith, and therefore we get our ums and ahs and works out.
Yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
way I look at it is we've got time to kill till sunrise tomorrow, so might as well fill it.
If we can get free board.
Mm.
Okay, so what's our cover?
Well, I suppose I'm going to be using my noble connections.
We're here to inspect their security system.
Well, I mean, we could carry on with the tourist line. I'm here again with my entourage, and I haven't found accommodation suitable of someone of my standing, and I wondered if I could be accommodated here for the night. And I'm so curious to hear more about the Arcanist. We all are, me and my companions.
Yeah.
We can
works for
try.
me.
Worst comes to worst, they don't believe us.
Oh, we could sneak in. What?
Well, we could sneak in if you want to. We might not have as forward a conversational connection, but I'm
Yeah,
happy
I
either
think
way.
we need to try and talk to this Arcanist, don't we? Yeah.
Mm.
If we don't get what we're looking for, then having a sneak around later is always an option.
Double-pronged attack.
Always have a plan B, Miss Septhorn, am I right?
Oh, yes.
Like running off in the opposite direction. Smashing it for plan B. Again, the Red House is a very obvious location, like, because it's sort of perched atop a hill. So you sort of wind your way down through the streets from the garrison, reach the little valley between the two hills, and start winding your way back up again. When you reach the Red House gate, much like again the Vondel estate, it's a walled off estate. The grounds clearly is not as big as the Vondel. The Red House is sort of that little bit closer. But from the gate at least, there doesn't seem to be a way to ring a bell. The gate's just closed for the night. And by this point, it's probably about 8 o'clock in the evening. The sun has gone down.
Does there look like a I don't know, like a servant's entrance?
Yeah, you can sort of, as you sort of do a little squeezing through the other buildings and the little alleyways around the wall, there does seem to be a trade gate around the other side, which does have a small bell on it.
Anyone fancy coming
Well-
and plan Bing?
I'll ring the bell.
Yeah, well, why don't we just entourage with her like she said?
Yeah, that's right.
Go for it, Gwendolyn.
Ding dong!
Yep, ringing that bell and calling it, hello? Hello?
After about sort of 10 minutes or so, and there are lights on inside of the house, but you hear a door open just beyond the gate, and this middle-aged half-elf woman, walnut skin, her hair tied back in a very loose ponytail because she's clearly just chucked a nightgown on, comes tottering over. Hello, can I help you?
Hello. Oh, I'm so sorry to have disturbed you this time in the evening. I'm afraid I'm in a bit of a quandary. Let me introduce myself. I am Lady Gwendolyn Rose, and I'm seeking somewhere to stay for the night. And well, I'm afraid to say these establishments in this town are not quite up to my standards, and I wondered if I might trespass upon the hospitality of Lord Rostel. Myself and my companions here, we're really after just a good place to stay for the night, and I was hoping that, one noble to another, we might be able to accommodate us.
Make a persuasion check.
Please, please, please. Non-natural 20.
Yeah.
About fucking time I got a persuasion check to work. Oh, actually, no, 21. Shit, I forgot. I didn't change my modifier.
Hey, well done. Yeah, she looks you up and down. She goes, well, I mean, we do have guests currently, so I'm not sure about... You could go ask.
I would appreciate that so
right?
very much.
Tell you what, you head round to the front gate, because if
Thank
I can
you.
see that you are a lady. There's no you coming in through the trades, all right? So you go round the front, and yeah, I'll go see if someone
Thank you
can put you up. How
there's
many
5 of us
you
in
are there?
total.
Do you want us servants to wait round here?
5 of you. Oh, you got some servants with you?
Gwendolyn kind of looks at them like, do they want to be servants or do they want to come as companions?
Oh, yes, we're companions.
Yes, these are my companions, yes.
The servants can wait at the filly.
Yes. I have, lodged my servants in an alternative place, but, myself and my companions, we really would like some better places to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You go and wait around the front, and I'll send someone out to talk to you, all
Thank
right?
you ever so much. And what's your name?
I'm Skylar. Hello. Very sorry that the Lord currently is not in residence.
Oh, no, what a shame.
No, but I'm sure he'd be absolutely well.
I have no
I'll
doubt
careful
that he's
words,
probably
all right?
very well acquainted with my father. Practically everybody is.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll be sure it was the name again. Rose. Was it?
Lady Gwendolyn Rose, yes.
Lady Gwendolyn Rose. Okay. Yeah. I'll go see if I'll go see.
Yes,
all right?
thank you so much, Skylar. Thank you.
That's all right. She sort of turns and hobbles back to the. I don't know why she keeps hobbling. She's not that old.
She's got an old war injury.
Yeah, it's cold. She's not put her slippers on, so she's sort of walking across
the gravel.
the stones of the garden a little bit. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so you all make your way back around the front of the gate. After a short while, a butler appears, and he's clearly pulled on a suit in a fairly rushed way, because you can see a few of the buttons aren't quite done up correctly.
Is it one of those jackets that's got the fake shirt front on the front, but it's actually just you pull it over?
Yeah, he's just sort of yeah. But he moves forward and he says, reaches the gate and says, "Which of you is Gwendolyn Rose?"
Hello, yes, that's me.
Lady Gwendolyn, my apologies.
Of course, not to worry.
Yes, we are able to put you up in some rooms for the evening. How many will you be needing?
How many rooms would you be able to provide?
We'll quite easily one each if you are in requirement of that. Of course, not all of them are prepared, so there might be some waiting if you wanted to rest quicker. We have some rooms already prepared and wait, but otherwise...
We would be more than happy to wait. Perhaps I wouldn't want to impose on you too much, but a meal for the evening would be wonderful whilst we're waiting for rooms to be sorted.
Yes, we've already been in contact with Lord Rostall, and he is quite happy for you to be treated as honoured guests.
He is. Oh, that's, of course, it's exactly what I expected. So that's wonderful. Thank you. And what was your name?
Seth.
Seth, a pleasure to meet you, Seth. Thank you so much for being so very accommodating. I must say you're very much appreciated on behalf of myself and my family.
Oh, yes. It's the very least we could do, my lady. And sort of whilst he's been doing this, it sort of opened the gate and has slowly walked you onward. As you sort of start stepping inside of the house itself, unlike the Vondells, this one feels in the interior of it almost like a castle.
Mm-mm.
All of that brickwork is just on display. They seem to be quite proud of the fact that this brick is in the town. And whilst there are rugs and things so the floor doesn't feel too cold as you're walking through, The decoration is quite sparse, almost Spartan in some places. That it's just like basic furniture. Not very plush, but impressive in its own way.
What a magnificent building this is.
Thank you. Yes, we do try and keep it, as is our job. If you would care to sit in this room here, gestures toward a small sitting room, then Skylar will be up with some food and tea and shortly, and I will go and prepare your rooms. We do have other guests already in the manor. They have been informed of your arrival.
It would be a pleasure to be acquainted with them.
Yes, I'm sure they'll make themselves known. An Arcanist.
Oh, an Arcanist.
Yes, and his scholar companion.
An Arcanist and a scholar. Why, we are in luck, aren't we, everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
What wonderful company they will be. Thank you so much, Seth. You're looking after us ever so well. Please do invite them to come and speak to us. It would be wonderful to have some fabulous conversation.
Of course, they've already eaten for the evening, but they may join you after you have.
Lovely. Thank you.
Sort of rush, not like a rush, but it's clearly like, now I've got to put together 5 rooms.
Yes.
So, he rushes away.
Can I send Ruana off with him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the little mouse sort of hops down, starts scurrying after him. And he is just doing what he's like set out to do, which is running as soon as he's out of view of you all, running to linen closets and grabbing like sort of random bed sheets and like then rushing upstairs to locked rooms that he's like unlocking, trying to dust off like bits of furniture so it doesn't look so bad, and like sort of chuck sheets on, like make it feel as plush as possible, lighting candles so every room feels as welcome, and that's all he's doing.
I think when Ruana sees him doing all of that, she's going to sort of make her way back to the group.
Yeah.
It was just kind of just to check that, like, I don't know, Skylar and Seth weren't both the same person changing shape and actually are also the Arcanist, and they're going to murder us all in our sleep.
It's the fun thing of these noble houses. You just never know.
Never know.
You're waiting in a sitting room. Any of the rest of you doing anything whilst you're...
I'm playing with the brass knuckles. I've not summoned these before.
So to say, those have not popped out, have they?
No. I'm just thinking back, put my fists up, peekaboo style, and I just sway. Oh yeah, this is familiar. As I sway up, there's an uppercut. There's a jab. There's a jab cross. Oh yeah, that's familiar.
Gwendolyn's watching that. And she's, if you ever want to try those out, spar a little bit, I wouldn't be against that.
It's been a while since I've practiced with these. Well, yeah, I wasn't very good when I was taught, but some things stuck.
There's always room for improvement.
Yes, always.
I say let's find a warehouse somewhere where there's like some oil barrels and things like that. There's like some meat hanging from hooks, and draw out a square with chalk, and you guys just go to town.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the offer's open to any of you.
I'm good.
Are you sure, Oren?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you sure? I mean, we could all do with a bit more combat practice.
I don't know about hand-to-hand. Don't know if that's my area.
Yeah, my hand-to-hand tends to be more of a Kaylee dance.
I'm with you there, Guy.
I'll leave it to you two.
But I'd greatly enjoy watching you two beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I really feel like I might enjoy that too. You don't think I over-egged it a bit by requesting 5 rooms?
I mean, you just poshed us into this house. I think that's what's just happened. Is that what happens? You just turn up and you go, "Oh, I'm Gwendolyn Rose. Let me in," and people do.
I mean, I think that's the first time I've really properly tried, other than with the Vondells. But the Vondells kind of came at us. And came at me.
Yeah, came at all of us in the end.
I mean, well, in the end, yes. But it was Trimp who invited me in the first place.
I'm just going to turn to Juna and just be like, Juna, how rich are the Roses? Are we talking stupid rich, insanely rich? Or are we talking they're competitive in their own community rich?
David!
It's a curious one. The Rose Estate and in Pryden, it's not as extensive as it could be. It is falling apart in a few places. It's well kept, but it's not the height of fashion as you would expect.
No.
But at the
Bit
same
more countryside.
Yeah, at the same time, the more you've travelled, the more well-connected you realise that her father is, and the business side of things is clearly doing very well. So you're not actually sure where on the rank of things the Roses fit.
I'm not really sure where on the rank of things they really are.
My guess is pretty high. That consortium mage knew who Gwendolyn's father was. I assume the same's for this chap as well.
I'm sorry. What? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Gosh, I'm not in this conversation.
Yeah, you're not. Get the hell out.
I'm so involved.
I think maybe the business side of Gwendolyn's father's estate is probably much better connected than even I knew when I was there. But it's not doing us any harm now, is it?
No, not at all. Not at all. This should be interesting, to say the least. But I'm kind of anxious to get hold of this Arcanist. Maybe the Arcanist can help us with the flute.
I would love to help you with the flute.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Where'd you come from?
There's sort of in the doorway, you see a pale half-elf, older man, and he's got like a fluffy grey beard, big milk bottle spectacles on. Very excited, walks in. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Flute. I love a flute.
It's Father Christmas.
A little bit. Half-elf Father Christmas, yeah.
Do you perform? You with the mask?
Yes, I do. I do indeed. Of course, my patron at the moment is Justice Lady Rose here, and I am only able to
Lady
impress
Rose.
and
He walks over, completely ignoring you, Gaius. Sort of takes your hand, shakes. Oh, I'm a big fan of your father's work. Excellent man. Brilliant work he is. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Yes, I am Lady Gwendolyn Rose, and I believe I've heard your name. It's Yvette.
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 Clane. You can call me Clane. It's fine. Call me Clane. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Clane, lovely to meet you.
Clane Yvette.
Clane Yvette, I heard that you've done the people of this town a great service.
Well, I mean, all in a day's work for an Arcanist, isn't it? Ah.
Of course. It's an absolute pleasure to
So
meet
it wasn't
you.
a day's work. It was a couple of days' work. I'd say it was a slippery bugger.
Oh, really? Oh, do you know what? We would be absolutely thrilled to hear just how you were able to catch him.
Trade secrets. But no, mostly I just listened to everybody's minds in the vicinity, and then I found one that was suspicious. It's quite simple, actually. Very simple spell.
How did you find it? How did you notice it was a suspicious one instead?
Well, you see, basically I got the entire town locked down for a moment, and then we passed...
Oh, God.
Yes.
What?
No one would ever go for that.
That's so powerful.
Was there like a tier system?
I mean, the only tiers were the outside and the inside, and as the murders were happening inside, I thought, well, let's lock the gates, and I had to interview every single one. I had some help from my assistant scholar, Oratrix, but he's dull. So...
Is Oratrix not joining us?
I don't know. Probably not.
Well, yes, do carry on. Don't
we
let
get
me
paired
stop
up.
your
It's
story.
really annoying, actually. We don't always go with the good ones. Sometimes they just give you a bad scholar. Not saying that he is necessarily a bad scholar, but he's a good scholar. But he's just. I mean, it's hard to talk to, you know.
I feel like I've heard that name before. Could you tell us what's he look like?
Oratrix is a walnut-skinned human. Long hair and nice little dreadlocks, clasped them very well with the little gold pieces at the end. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? It's really, really weird because I was thinking of more of like a blonde sort of person. Yeah, I apologize, Lady Rose, for interrupting that conversation there. Please continue. And I'm just going to sort of go back and lean over to Juna and just be like, if you can get Rowana to go and look for this guy, that might be useful.
Juna, winks at Rowana, and away she goes.
Mm-hmm.
Not like with my sight or anything. She's just going to sort of go and have a little...
Do it by herself.
With her investigation score, she's sure to find something.
Well, quite.
But yeah, the Arcanist is like, so basically I pulled everybody through, and there were a few panicking people, of course, but then there was somebody who was just thinking about all of the murder they just committed. And it was them. Yeah.
So good at disguising themselves, bad at disguising their thoughts.
Exactly. Shall I show you? It's a very simple spell. Shall I try it on you? If you don't mind.
I think we're all right.
I mean, you do look a bit nervous, don't you?
I would very much like insight check Brian Blessed, please.
Absolutely.
Blessed.
I'm really enjoying him, but yeah. 10.
10, he just seems very excitable. Almost like he's not had a good conversation in a while, so he's like, oh, people. That's really the only impression you get. And that he's quite happy to have achieved something so quickly.
Do you know, just out of curiosity,
Yes.
what would happen if you tried to read someone's thoughts who was also trying to read your thoughts? Just as a conversation starter.
Like a thought feedback loop, almost. I don't tried that, actually. That could be disastrous. That could be fascinating. You might just hear echoes of your own thoughts. You might just hear what they're thinking about your thoughts.
I just was wondering, that's all.
Stares off into the distance, pondering the idea in his head.
I'm sort of interested in that sort of stuff as well, actually.
Oh, do you study that kind of thing? I see you've got a staff. Are you and you are a gnome? Are you from Sulmarath?
I am.
Oh, wonderful.
Can I do a check to see if he's reading my thoughts?
You'd know if he were reading deeper.
Okay. Yes, I am, actually. Are you from Sulmarath?
No, I'm Gervanian through and through. I'm half-elf, so I suppose part of me is Aelish from way back. But
have you travelled to Sulmarath?
No, unfortunately not, no. Most of my study has just been done with the consortium.
How long have you been with the consortium?
Oh, 40, 50 years now. You lose track after a while. It all becomes I'm stopping you from eating dinner. I'm so very sorry. Just,
Would you like to join us?
Oh,
come and join us for dinner.
Well, I won't eat. Oh, yes, but I will join. I'll just sit and drink and talk to you and watch you whilst you eat. And not in a weird way.
No.
Your company would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yes.
Do you not eat?
No, I've eaten.
Or have you already
eaten?
eaten?
Don't worry. I might nibble. Just a little nibble.
Nothing wrong with a little nibble.
No, exactly. I might just drink. That's also an option.
That's always an option.
Anyway.
Have you ever had a strawberry daiquiri?
Yes. But I'm quite sugary for my taste, I'll be honest.
Oh, well, yeah. Just asking.
No, I prefer a good Rockcrest Red. That's where I'm at.
Oh.
Yes. Not that they have any here, unfortunately.
Rockcrest? No, there's none here. Oh, okay.
No, a man of similar taste, I see.
Yes, and he gets a bit sheepish. Yeah.
And Kidu, your Daryl's hanging out.
And it's like, yes, I don't have a refined palate, but I'm particularly fond of that drink.
Oh,
there are ways and means, Clay. There are ways and means of turning things into wine.
Transmutation and that kind of thing. Yes, I'm not the most skilled transmutationist. Yes. Anyway,
he sort of wanders off into one of the other rooms.
Is that the dining room?
I really don't want him to be evil. I love him.
Sort of wanders back. No, actually, the dining room is this way. You're quite right, Lady Rose. Quite right.
Do you lead the way, Clane? Grace here, keeping you updated with all things No Small Roles related. First up, a reminder that next week is the last Sunday of the month, so instead of an episode from the main storyline, you will be getting episode 3 of No Small Questions. This month, superfan Sam asked David, Vicky and guest player Sarah Gain your brilliant questions sent in via social media. This was also our first time recording with some of our wonderful patrons in the Zoom with us, and I have to say it was an absolute delight. It was so lovely and so much fun to actually meet some of you virtually, hang out, have a drink and chat, and personally I cannot wait for the next one. If you're listening and thinking that sounds fun, then why not consider becoming a patron? There are some awesome perks to be had, so go to patreon.com/No Small Roles to find out more. All new patrons get a shout out right here in the little middle bit with me when you sign up. Now, this week's No Small shout-out goes out to the talented artist Karen Lovey. Now, you may have seen us post some of her incredible fan art on our social media in the past. If you haven't, go and check her out. Her art page on Facebook is called Made with Lovey. Now, her work is stunning, and I believe she has even started taking on commissions, which is absolutely excellent news, and you should definitely commission her. You can find us at No Small Rolls on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find our Facebook page by searching No Small Rolls, rolls spelt ROLLS. That's all from me for now. Let's see if Arcanist Clane can find that dining room.
Kind of leads you through the house in a roundabout way. You can tell he's not been here long enough to necessarily know the direct routes to things, but he leads you through like a nice another sitting room, more of a games room, some cards and stuff laid out, and then finally you end up in the dining room with a table, and actually Skylar's there already just sort of laying out plates of things in the centre of the table. She bobs a little curtsy. She's taken her dressing gown off. She looks a little bit more presentable. Bob's a little curtsy.
Juna finds all of that incredibly awkward. Like, Juna almost can't help herself but, like, try and join in with Skylar and go, like, yeah. She finds it all very weird that she's not doing that.
Excuse me, good lady. I'm just wondering, do you know where the John is? I mean, the leverage. I mean, the Lou.
What accent did she have?
Oh god.
Like
she was West Country.
She was West Country.
As all housekeepers in this world are.
Housekeepers, West Country. That's how I know. We got a bathroom and a toilet and that. Just through here, and sort of points down the corridor to a little water closet.
Is there one that, like, near our rooms and things?
Upstairs there'd be chamber pots, but this one here is got plumbing, so it flushes and everything. You pull a chain and it just goes.
That's amazing.
Thank you. And he's gonna, like, reluctantly go down the corridor to the lavatory that he doesn't need to use. He just wants to excuse himself so he could go upstairs.
Yeah. But hang on, Guy's never been to the loo in the whole game, so surely he needs to go.
He's like a Sims character. He's just been peeing his pants this whole time.
Oh, which is a point. Juna, make an investigation check for Ruana.
11.
So she's not found anybody upstairs yet. She finds the butler again, rushing backwards and forwards, but nobody else.
So, Lady Rose, what brings you to Rost Hall at such a time as this?
Well, I suppose being a bit of a tourist, if that's not too daft a thing to be. You know,
no, the architecture here is glorious, isn't it?
Isn't it? Just
the red brick. I mean, what?
Yes, it's very particular to this area, isn't it?
Well, no, that's the point.
No. Oh, it's not. Oh, please, I honestly, I don't know, but I would love to know.
It's Orcosian, did you know?
Orcosian?
Yes, they imported it years and years ago. They did some trading with the Orcosians, managed to buy loads of this brick, transported it right the way down here at such great cost I could probably imagine, and built this whole town out of it.
Wow,
well, that's strange. My, why did they do that? I mean, it's absolutely stunning, and I can absolutely see why they did it for the aesthetic. But why would they do that at such great expense?
Well, some people have money, and they like to show that off. And quite frankly,
of course,
good, because it looked yes. Bloody brilliant.
By the way, DM, when you say Orcosian, does that mean it's from Orkosh, or is that somewhere else?
From Orkosh, yeah.
Wow. And well, I mean, yes, absolutely. Show it off if you can. Why not? And,
well, yes, exactly.
And I suppose being up on these hills, it means people from far away can certainly see just how wealthy this town is.
Well, yes, exactly. Very old now, though, very old. Be quite hard to trade with Orkosh these days, wouldn't it? Not that I mean anything, but you're being a half-orc, obviously. It just meant because, you know...
there's some tensions, I believe.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
I'm afraid, you know, I'm ever so ignorant of political things sometimes. So it's always good to be informed by somebody better in the know than myself.
I mean, they've got this whole thing about us being on their land, which, on the one hand, you can completely excuse them for because it was taken from them by the elves, not us, and that was thousands of years ago. So we've been living here almost, if not longer than they have. So it's probably more our land now than it is theirs. And anyway, they keep coming back. You know, the whole barrier marshes. That's where they're getting in right now. The trouble is, of course, we're dealing with the Aelish and little skirmishes and all the rest of that up there. Went to the front lines myself a little while ago.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just fine. I'm fine. It's not as scary as you would think. The Aelish
no, I can't imagine it'd
nice
be
people.
Scary with somebody as talented as you.
No, that's flattery. That's flattery. Anyway, I'm very sorry. We're just keeping the whole conversation to ourselves, aren't we? You, with the leg. That's a very ingenious contraption you've got there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, made it myself.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Does it make you run fast?
It can do.
Is that the purpose of it?
Well, it's not the purpose of it, but I mean, but it can do, I guess, sometimes.
Oh, wonderful.
If pushed.
Wonderful. Comes to shove. No, not that I'm going to shove you. It's just, turn of phrase, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, what?
Well,
So you're one of the... Are you one of the consortium? Is that right?
Yes, one of the Arcanists.
Oh,
yes.
right. What's that like?
Very hard work, I'll be honest.
Really?
A lot of bloody hard work. I mean, it's they send you all over the place. The old current archmaguses. I never know how to say that word, and I'll probably be one day.
Wow.
No, they do. There's plenty of things, and obviously this little job here, probably a bit beneath me, but there's political.
Right. Okay.
Reasons. Yes.
Wait. So you were sent here by the consortium?
Yes, on behalf of Lord Rostal. He put in a word.
I have a question for you, Master.
Yes.
Is there a possibility that the faceless fellow was making an attempt on Lord Rostal, and could it be considered a political kind of attack?
It's quite possible. What I found very bizarre when I did look into his little mind there is he'd almost obscured his purposes with the extra murder. You know what I mean? It was very hard. It was very hard to see what quite he was doing in the town, because he'd killed so many people, and he'd taken so many different forms, that it was a whole jumble of just... it was maddening to try to sift through it. But at the very least, it meant that I knew it was him.
And what form did he take the last you saw him?
Well, when I first met him, he was a little boy, and that was very off-putting, because you don't want little boys running around with those kind of images in their head, do you? But when I left, he was a very old man. Almost as if he were trying to be myself, but couldn't quite catch this likeness.
And you say he might have been trying to disguise a different motive? But
yes, quite possible. I mean, he was stationed here as a footman, of all things. Yes, it was possible that he, like you suggest, he might have taken a more political approach to his purposes in being here. But
all you was able to read was that he done a lot of murders, basically. That you didn't get anything more than that.
Yes, well, that's what he was. Essentially, that was all I could get. Enough to confirm that it was him, and that I think is enough. We could move on to the next part and save the town any more distress.
I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts on him.
Yes. Thank God.
I've been sitting on it, and then I know Daryl's also a bit like, what's going on?
Yeah, so first up, you can hear his surface thoughts.
I think that's probably as far as I'll go, but...
And his surface thoughts are just the room's surface thoughts currently.
The what?
I mean, he's just... As Juna sort of looks into Klane's mind, all you can hear is Gwendolyn's voice, and then Orin's voice, and then Enkidu's voice, and then Gaius's voice. And then a little bit of your own,
because he's reading our
Juna.
thoughts.
And in fact, when it does flick back over to you, Juna, he frowns a little bit.
Juna's going to look at him like one eyebrow raised and a bit of a wry smile.
I mean, you can't blame me for trying. That was interesting, though. I could hear it was almost like an echo chamber. Did you hear that?
I heard that, right, as Juna?
Yeah, like it was almost when, like, sort of he was then focusing in on you. You were like hearing everybody's, but like echoed out. Like when you look in a mirror, like two mirrors back to back, and that sort of the reflection carries on.
Oh yeah.
But
like that was new.
You seem to like this spell of reading people's thoughts. I wonder if... I'm going to regret asking this. When you scanned over my mind, what was there?
How do you mean?
You could hear the surface thoughts of people in the room. I mean, like, what would you hear of mine?
I mean, there's a lot of suspicion there. now that we're talking frankly, which, quite frankly, is a little bit more fun. Yes, you're quite a suspicious fellow, aren't you?
It's not the first time someone said that about me, no.
The lot of you seem to be a little bit concerned with my being an Arcanist.
Oh, we've seen a lot on our travel up from,
We met Zeravir Tarek.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh, and in what capacity did you
do you
meet
know
her?
her?
I know her very well. She's a fellow Arcanist.
Oh, we were supposed to be on a secret assignment from him.
Oh, no.
No,
This is not
no,
the
no,
secret
no,
one.
no.
This is the one we met back in Tillisham.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
This is
but
the one. It's okay.
to Chris's words, maybe to put a bit of fear in you, you are supposed to be on a secret assignment against the consortium.
I know.
And you're currently sat in the room with someone who can read your thoughts. So, Zeravir, yes. Were you in Tillisham?
Guy is going to immediately start thinking about, like, a sheep just jumping over a fence repeatedly.
Yeah, and Cunie's going to grab his glass and try to prestidigitate the flavour. Turn it into Rockcrest Red. Like, what happens
Juna
if
is
I do this?
hardcore thinking about her and Jenny.
God.
Yeah, we passed through Tillisham. It was quite a nice place.
I mean,
actually.
if you met Zeravir, then Tarek. She likes to go by Tarek. Then were you there? Did you see all the animals?
No. What kind of animals were they?
All the dead animals. Did you not see the dead animals?
Well, that sounds horrific.
Books.
I'm glad we weren't there for that.
Make a deception check, Juna.
Oh yeah.
Orange thinking about books.
Gwendolyn's thinking about the cursed
11.
pipe.
I got +6 and I only got 11.
He sort of winks a little bit at you. He's like, "Come on now, no, you were there. I can. Come
We
on,
were
you
there, but I'd
Yes.
rather not think about it because it was not very nice to witness.
Well, no, I can imagine. I can be absolute horrifying. But
Yeah.
I mean, that was an event. Tell me about that. Tell me a first-hand account. Go on.
Well, we sort of came into town and it was more the aftermath, if I'm being honest, of what had happened.
What was the aftermath?
Well, that's something just that lots of townspeople seemed to be hurt. Something went on up at the, what's their names? The Donville Tower?
You're not as good a liar as you think, Miss Septhorn.
Oh my gosh.
DM, Guy is just going to take something from his bag, and he's going to tell the Arcanist, "Hey, buddy, if you like good music, maybe I'd let you play something on this flute." And he's going to play the flute for him.
Ooh, very nice. Are you going to try to make him move
Nice.
as a distraction technique?
Why not? Just for the fun of it.
What's your spell save?
It's a measly 13 against a bleak Arcanist.
Yeah. He rolled a 17, let alone anything else he's adding. He sort of listens to it. Oh, make a performance check.
Okay.
Guy's best feature.
Actually not.
No.
Oh, dirty 20 though.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually, like, he listens, like, the distraction seems to work for a while. He says, very, very nice pipe. It's got a bit of an attitude, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I'm just out of interest, like, we acquired this on our travels the other day, and it's a bit weird, but basically, our party members keep waking up, and for some reason, like, they keep, like, walking towards me when I play and things, and it's just a bit weird. And I was wondering if you've ever heard about anything in that in your travels and stuff. Have you heard anything, like, it being any artifacts that are, like, encourage people to, like, follow others, like a Pied Piper or something?
Yeah, not to follow others, I have heard tales of enchanted instruments. May I have a quick look? Professional curiosity.
Go for it.
Takes it, starts turning it over. Lays it very quickly down on the table, mutters a few arcane words, just draws with his finger some runes around it, picks it up again. Yes, it doesn't seem to be anything dangerous as far as I can tell. But what I do sense is that it just wants to be played.
Oh.
So it's likely that if you're having issues with it, you're not playing it enough.
Okay.
What?
But you can't, like, detect any, like, other internal being that could be, like, released if we break it?
Oh, no, there's no trapped spirits or anything like that, if that's what you worry about. No, I'm sure. I mean, you might have a bit of trouble breaking it. That seems to be pretty solid. Like I say, it seems to be have a mind of its own, but And when you say people are walking up to you at night?
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, my compatriots here are the Lady Roses. And I'll gesture to Juna and to Oren.
Oh. Well, probably just wants an audience, doesn't it?
And we were hearing the music when it wasn't being played.
Well, you know, I'm sure any circus has got what do they call a shouter out the front, somebody who calls you in. So it's likely all that's happening is that you haven't played it enough, so it's calling people over to you to put on a bloody show for them.
So if I was to play, like, the biggest show in town, that would, like, soothe it, do you think? And then everyone would stop listening to the music as much?
I'm not even sure it would take that, just a little bit of love and attention.
Okay. That makes me feel a bit more reassured as a magic man as yourself.
Gwendolyn, can you make a charisma saving throw, please?
Oh my gosh.
He's going deeper.
Sorry, it
He's
is a
going
charisma
deeper.
saving throw, isn't it? For a deeper detect thought.
Wisdom saving throw. It's a wisdom
wisdom.
saving throw.
That is a 15.
15. What are your deeper motivations currently?
I am wondering if he himself is the shapeshifter.
Anything else?
What else am I thinking about in this moment? Shapeshifter and what is she? She's a lot blanker than you might think. She's just like do you know what? Because of the mention of the shapeshifter being a little boy, she's also thinking about Oskin, and the Vondells. I'm feeling guilty about Oskin still.
Obviously, you can sort of feel him like probing into your mind a little bit. So he's searching for the reason that you're in town. Because he doesn't trust that you're here just to be a tourist.
Would he find that out? I don't know how close that is to the surface. I think she's thinking about other things.
Well, no, that's what I mean. He's pushed, beyond the surface.
Okay, beyond the surface.
Yeah.
So he wants to know, he will know then why we have come through town.
Well, it depends how necessarily you think about the situation. So for Gwendolyn, why have you come to Rost Hall?
Adventure and escape.
What adventure are you currently on? Again, as you can you can feel him pushing deeper into your mind that you're like, I'm trying to throw up the roadblocks. How can I distract him? But you can feel him trying to find the reasoning behind your reasoning. What
behind adventure? As she is doing her best to think more about Orkosh, and that we're getting closer to there, and trying to think about her mother. She's imagining a orc woman in highway gear, and she is just trying to fill her mind with that as much as she kind of a highway woman orc that she is trying to fill her mind with, and think about that. She knows that she's close to where her and her father met, and she's just trying to just channel that, and with the woods and everything, and trying to just that's a big part of why she's on this journey, and so she's trying to direct him to there as she can kind of feel him getting into her mind.
And after it feels much longer, but it's actually only about a minute of you're gripping the table slightly as you can just feel him moving through your thoughts and memories. And after sort of the sort of tension in your head, it's almost like a little headache, the pressure just is released, and you realize that he's not probing anymore. He does sort of give you a sort of a side look, but he almost doesn't acknowledge that he's even done that. Just carries on with the pipe, hands it back to Gaius. He's like, oh, yes. So that's what I would say and worry about that, is that just play it more. And probably if you stop playing it, then that's when it will bring people over to you. That's my assumption.
Thank you.
I am not feeling very well. I think I'm going to retire for the evening. I have a slight headache, she says very pointedly to him.
How unfortunate.
How unfortunate indeed. I would hope that nobody else would get a headache whilst they're in this room. It's very stuffy, isn't it? And she leaves the room.
I think maybe it is time for bed. I mean, I'm assuming... Do I need to roll to know if I get that from Gwen, what she's getting at? It feels quite...
No,
obvious,
you don't have to roll for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe we should all head to bed.
Yeah. All right.
And I think what she's do is to point to the boys and say, I think you, and you go as well, and cast message and say... He read her mind.
Right. Got it.
And then as they're leaving, just in case he goes for Juna is thinking You cheeky little fucker. Just in case he gets in there. Fuck it. She points to him and messages, you cheeky fucker.
He responds, professional curiosity, my apologies. I sort of, as you all make to leave, he's, wonderful joining you all for dinner, and hope to see more of you for the execution, or possibly tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Can I get a sip of that wine before I go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
What does it taste like?
Trying to recreate a Rockcrest Red for yourself. It is really nice. It's like a really smooth cherry and chocolate notes to it. Have you ever, as Enkidu, ever tried a Rockcrest Red?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you can imitate the taste to the best thing. Obviously, you know that you're not drinking the real thing. So part of you is like, does it carry the same weight? But at the same time, you're like, actually, I've got this.
He kind of sneaks back because, just a nightcap, and he just himself out of the room.
Good lad.
Yeah. Orin, hey, Orin. I did it. I did magic. I did it.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks. And then he remembers the Arcanist is like, oh, right, yeah.
The Arcanist doesn't move to follow any of you out. Stands to suggest to you all a good night, but leaves you to go.
All right.
Which, as you're sort of all slowly making your way up toward the stairs, Seth, the butler, does sort of come, yes, the rooms are all ready for you, the largest of which, Lady Rose, I have, of course, put out for you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, of course. House.
Gwendolyn goes up to the biggest room, but she kind of stands in the doorway, kind of to be like to everyone else, like, come in here.
Yeah.
Go into the room.
Sure, yeah.
She feels sick.
I'm going to completely follow.
Yeah, of course.
Can I, if I send out a Rowana, do I know where she is? Is she within 100 feet?
Just down the corridor, pops out of a little door, scurries down the corridor and joins you all.
I'm pretty sure he read my mind and pushed pretty deep. I think I was able to fight him away from anything that would relate to exactly why we're here. I think I was able to steer him off, but I don't know if we're going to be able to defend our minds against him whilst we're sleeping. I don't know. Juna,
how's it work?
You know this spell.
David? I don't know.
Player's handbook.
I suppose it would just be our dreams, wouldn't it? So maybe we're okay, but it depends what our dreams reveal. I love that the pipe thing is that it's just an attention-seeking pipe.
I'm so grateful for that. That scared the crap out of me. I'm not gonna lie.
Got an evil pipe.
Yeah, basically, I just kept a track of whether or not you played it during the day, and if you hadn't, Orin got.
Yeah.
Okay, you've played it today. We're okay.
So the player's handbook doesn't say about if the person's asleep or not. So I'm assuming they'd still be able to read some of the deeper thoughts of the person. They just maybe will be less able to counteract it. The thing is, when it does say in there, the spell is particularly useful as part of an interrogation, because when you ask someone a question, obviously their thoughts start shifting toward the answers. And I suppose if somebody's asleep, they're not going to respond to a question, but they're also probably got no control over
equally,
where their
he might
mind
just
goes
see
in the same way.
visions of you flying through the air, or
Exactly, yeah.
And that's why he wasn't fully able to get exactly out of me, because he wasn't asking me questions. I was able to...
Yeah, exactly. He was sort of just seeing where your minds were going.
So Gwen, you think he didn't find out anything?
No, I was thinking about my mother and what my image of her. I don't know if it's actually what she looks like, but from what my father's told me, and we're not a great distance, or maybe we are, but we're in the closer area to where my mother and my father met. With the talk of building materials from Orkosh, I just try to really centre it down on that, really. So I think we're okay, but I'm just a bit nervous about spending any more time around him right now.
Juna just gives Gwen a massive hug. Not a massive hug.
A Juna-sized hug.
Yeah.
Just the right size.
A Juna-sized
I'll
hug.
join in on that as well.
Oh, thank you. Lovely.
Do you think we're in any danger with him?
Gwendolyn, she's just not sure how much he's listening right now, so she's kind of just her words aren't coming out so well, so he might be able to find out why we're here.
That's the risk we took coming here anyway. It's to be expected, I guess.
Juna, do you have to be able to see someone to be able to do that? Test Vicky on her spell day.
Literally. You do, so I think whilst we're not in the same room as him, we're safe, but that's just how I cast it.
Yeah.
I need to be able to see.
I'm just wondering if we're better off. Well, so I'm just wondering if we want to stay here, if we all stayed in one room, Gwendolyn, you can do that clever security stick thing that you do, and then we'd know if he was coming near.
We could keep watch like we normally do.
Yes, that might be a good idea. I do feel bad about getting them to sort out all these rooms, though, now, if we're not going to sleep in them.
Well,
perhaps we could go jump on all the beds.
Yeah, we can pretend that we've been in there in the morning and, like, rumple up the sheets a bit and, like...
Yes, yeah, and if we all sneak to the other rooms ready for the morning, then maybe they won't know and they won't feel bad.
And be like, oh, I've just woken up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll sneak
Bring
down
me tea.
Sneak down
or whatever.
Yeah, Gwendolyn starts setting up her wire and her bell around as much of the room as she can to have a security system in place.
Yeah, and the room itself is quite large. There's a large king-size bed in the middle of it. A couple of chests and drawers, and again, like the sort of the seating furniture in the room is very sort of utility. Basic wooden chairs. They're very nice carved wooden chairs, but they're not as plush as you would expect. So whilst there is space for a couple of you on the bed, or a couple of you and Juna, a couple of you are definitely going to have to sleep on the floor, essentially.
Are you sure you all want to stay in here? I mean, you could all have a much more comfortable sleep, but it's probably better to keep us all together. But, I don't want anybody to feel obligated to stay in here.
I'm fine to stay here.
We've been on the road for days. I'm going to go next door. At least I'm not far.
Maybe it's good to keep somebody else with you.
If you're going to a different room, at least one of us should probably be there. I don't mind going.
Oren, wouldn't you share? And then if you wander off...
That's true.
So, Enkidu and Oren in one room, Juna, Gwendolyn, and Gaius in the other. Is that right? So, the night passes with no issue, actually. Oren and Juna, you both have very peaceful sleep. You don't go walking anywhere. Gaius, there's no sort of pipe taunting you in your dreams or anything like that. It's all very nice. Gwendolyn, you actually have some very nice dreams about your mother. As you've sort of like forced that thought so far forward in your head that it sort of lingers there for a little bit. So you just sort of see this highway orc sort of chasing down carriages, and like sometimes you are the highway orc, sometimes you're chasing the highway orc. It's a whole thing. And Enkidu, again, sleeping in an actual bed for a while, even if you're sharing it with Oren. It's a really relaxing evening for all five of you. The next morning comes. The sun rises. You can hear bells from the garrison.
Right, we've got to go and bounce on those other beds. Come on. One goes upstairs and jumps on one of the other beds.
Oh yeah, I'm coming. I'm up for a bit of bounce.
Gwendolyn stays in her room, but she's glad that they go off and do that.
Guy, you coming?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Love bouncing on the bed, me.
Can you all make acrobatics checks?
Oh, God.
I'm doing this gracefully.
Yeah.
Jumping on the beds.
Cox, hang on.
+4, bloody hell.
10.
14.
11.
15.
15. No, to be honest, more that I was checking to see if you broke any of them, but no, you all rolled all right. You're okay.
Yeah.
There is a brief moment you think you might have heard like a slight creak that you're like, okay, that's enough jumping.
Bouncing on the bed, rummage up the pillow, put my head against it a bit.
4 little adventurers jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head.
Yeah.
Juna rubs a Twain-tied tea bag on her.
Bowls of hot water have been delivered up to your rooms as well. Sort of left outside the rooms, not like they've walked in and seen you all jumping about. But as you all sort of gather yourselves, you head down for breakfast. You're informed that the Arcanist has already left. The Arcanist and the Scholar have already left to get about their business. You have breakfast. It's very nice. There's grains of cereal. There's different pots of tea. There's some orange juice.
Are there any tea bags on site?
They've got some. They've obviously got some.
I'm so proud of you, Ben.
There are some already prepared teas.
Literal tea leaves.
But then there's also just a selection of dragon barley and Twain-tide.
Can I try and palm some of the tea bags when no one's looking?
Yeah, you can grab 3 of each if you want.
Yeah, Juna sees it and is just like very proud of Oren.
There's extra breakfast rolls and stuff on the table, I guess, right?
Yeah. It's almost like a continental buffet.
This is when I was in the palace. This is the fanciest food I've ever tasted up until this day. And all we used to do was just sneak it and take it. Do you know what I mean? But I don't have any Tupperware. So
Juna puts the tea caddy on the table and takes the lid off.
Yes. It's like wrapped into napkins, tied up. The mage hand goes over to grab some fruit. Like, we are taking this. We are eating like kings on the road. and it's going in the caddy. Oh yeah, it's for
the caddy's first official use.
To fill it
caddy
with
can fit
food.
10 small items. So,
oh shit!
How are you basically going to fill it till it's full, or are you going to?
I'll find the tastiest looking pastry. I think I'll save that for the road.
It's a nice, really buttery looking croissant.
Yeah. Let's put it in there.
So you feel like, if you want to fill it completely, great.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to eat it, so it should last.
Yeah.
There's also this crazy magical thing called pockets.
I mean, food in your pocket is very, very uncomfortable.
That's true. There's so much flint or like crumbs and stuff.
Yeah, it'd be awful.
So as you've already, obviously having a very nice morning chat, stealing all of the food.
Quick, leave some crumbs on the plate so it looked like we ate it.
Yeah,
We didn't use all the rooms.
Specifically asked for 5 rooms when he was like, well, several are prepared. No, that won't be enough. We'll need 5.
I mean, this is literally actors on tour, isn't it?
That's why we're just role-playing that nowadays, just because we're so bored of being stuck inside.
Do you remember when you could go to hotels and have a breakfast?
Yeah.
Nick it. Take it.
So what are your plans for the day? Where are you all headed?
Library.
The
Library.
execution.
What time's the
They
execution?
said it's close. It's in the morning, but closer to midday. They're probably
Okay.
going to wait for a bit of a crowd before they do it. But at the moment, it looks only a couple of hours past sunrise. So you've got a bit of time before then.
Do we want to hit the library then?
I thought you'd never ask.
Sounds like a good plan. I'm sure we can get lots of information there.
Keep your eyes peeled as well. If the Hex are in town, don't know what they're up to.
Yeah. Up to no good.
To the library!
So yeah, you make your way across town, down one hill, up the other to the garrison, and there's already a bit of a crowd growing. There's sort of like, there are some people that have like picked out spots that they've like set up little chairs almost around the edge, ready for a good view of the gallows. You find the entrance to the library, however, sort of weaving your way through the little crowd there is. Make your way over to the library, and even the small steps up to the library, Orin, you can just smell books. Do you know that page smell? Like, it is wafting through. It is, it's lovely. And as you sort of reach the top of the steps, there is one guard there who sort of gives you a nod, points you toward a sign on the wall that just says "No candles," and also bags will be checked upon leaving. And he says, if you have any questions, feel free to go and ask one of the librarian.
I'm bringing some books in. Is that okay? They're not going to take those off me when I leave?
Could I have a quick check of them now?
Shows him the books.
Yep. Sort of he pulls out a little sort of book, keeps a little tally of your name and the amount of books that you're currently carrying and a small description of each. And goes, yep, that should be fine.
That's one of the most Orin things ever, to check his books on the way into a library to make sure they're not going to be taken off him.
DM, I've also got a book to check in. It's the one that I picked up from the Kral's Tower.
Oh, the really soggy one.
The rotten one.
Yeah. He sort of sees that. And he's like, oh, don't worry, none of our books are in that kind of a state, so we should be fine showing that upon exiting.
This is going to be worth thousands someday.
Oh gosh. He sort of smiles, sort of gestures for you to enter. The library is extensive. It is floor to ceiling shelves. It is they've jam-packed as much space as they can. Clearly this used to be some kind of soldier's mess hall, and it has been converted into this glorious library. And as you move through it, even little rooms that go off are filled with more and more books. Anything in particular you're looking for?
No. Seen what I wanted. I'll leave. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Can I see how it's sort of organised into?
Yeah, it's got Dewey Decimal System, classic.
Excellent.
No, it's
Arcanist Dewey.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like in-world organisation, mostly alphabetical.
We got to come up with a name for that in-world.
Yeah. The Quarren Quilts. It's got that. I'll think of something. But yeah, it's definitely separated out by the purpose of the book. It's got a lot of historic tomes. You notice there are some general non-arcane books, lots of fiction books, lots of fact books, quite a few political books, sort of expounding, or at least as you sort of like look through the titles, you get the impression that it's like things that have happened on a political level, like law changes and things that still probably affect the world today, but nobody really like knows about it. Like those random little bylaws and like seat changes in the Lord's Assembly that, you know, from 200-300 years ago that nobody really cares about, but it's been recorded.
Oh, what to look at first? I think conscious of the mission that we're on, I think Orin might try and see if he can find anything about the formation of the Arcanists Consortium.
Yep. Anybody else? Are you just following Orin, or are you sort of spreading out a little?
Yeah, I'll give you a hand, Orin, if that's all right with you.
I'm interested in that as well. And also, any books on conjuration, like its uses and historic records of, like, you know, big uses of it, how it's affected the world.
Gwendolyn and Gaius?
Gwendolyn's going to be looking for kind of, I suppose she's going to be in the travel department, perhaps. She's going to be looking for information about Orkosh, but also about the Lake Ward district, particularly the Golden Forest.
Yep. And Gaius, are you just sort of tagging along, or just...
Gaius is going to be like drifting and then feeling bored out of his mind, just start like banging, and starts like playing like hide and seek by making lots of noise in the library. So he'll make lots of noise in one row and then like sneak over to another while the librarian chases around.
Yeah, and there is a general hush in the room every time it is broken, no matter who it is. It almost reverberates around, and all of you are like, Gaius.
I suppose after like 25 minutes of this, after a quick
25 minutes.
Yeah, 25 minutes. He's committed. He'll probably get like a telling off from Orin or Gwen, and then be like, "Oh, okay," and then he'll go and find like like a poetry section just to read.
I think at that point, Juna will go sit with Guy for a chat.
Poetry section. Cool. For those of you looking for specific information, can you make a quick investigation check, please?
Oh my gosh.
13.
12.
2.
Whoa.
Oh.
So, yeah, Enkidu, it's what you at least find is that there seem to be very little actual arcane books. So anything about like the theory of magic even, this is not the library for that. And you wander like section to section to section to section, and there is nothing. Like you get one of the librarians to like try helping, and she's like, "Oh, I'll try and find something historical that might mention it," but no, there's no. So you spend a lot of the time just wandering backwards and forwards. Orin, you were looking for Arcanist stuff, weren't you?
Yeah, specifically about the sort of formation of the Arcanists Consortium, really.
Yeah, you do find one book that sort of. It's less specifically about the Arcanist Consortium, but having asked, again, a librarian, she's pointed you toward a book about the Accords, because that's the first mention of the Consortium that she's aware of. Yeah, there is like a general understanding that during the post-mortal uprising, during the era of the Free Peoples, mages were a little bit unrestrained, and so Rumath, along with a group of mages, highly skilled mages, helped put together the Accords along with other lords and things of the land, and actually after the signing of the Accords, the official founding of the Arcanist Consortium was made. You get the sense that this group that they were talking about is probably the people that you're investigating, the founders. The official start date, as it were, for the Arcanist Consortium is actually a few years after Dravane as a country was established.
So, was there some kind of like suppression of chaos?
Yeah, like that's generally what the whole Accords did, was to stop the minor civil wars and things that were starting. Yeah, the entire point of it was to stop the rampant use of magic and people claiming territories, and just to try and instill a little bit of law back into the land that had just been like liberated.
And is there anything about how they did that? Did they sort of stamp out magic users? Or...
There's a little bit of discussion of other battles and things. They it wasn't necessarily an entirely peaceful transition. There were a few moments of minor uprisings in those early years of people that were against the Accords, but ultimately the Consortium, the Lord's Assembly, and the throne itself, Rumath Tarambor, they manage to quell any sort of small disputes. And quite often, it's noted that those people were transported out of the country.
Yep. Guess where to.
Okay. Who else? Is it just Oren reading this?
Well, if you join me in Kidu, I'd be sharing what I'm reading.
Gwendolyn, what was it that you were looking for? Sorry.
Information about Orkosh and also the Lake Ward, with in particular the Golden Forest.
Again, you walk up to one librarian, a purple grey half elf with a shock of white curly hair. She's quite kind. She sort of nods and she's like, okay, Orkosh. Now we've got a few. We've got some in the myths and legends section, if you're interested in that. We've got a few in the Golden Forest, the Lake Ward and that. And then she's basically like muttering to herself, moving through the books, piling up a few of them that she think might interest you. When you sit down to read them, even though she helps point you to specific sections in each book as well, the information that she's found is quite scant. When it comes to the Orkosh stuff, it's basically a lot of the generally known information about Orkosh. The fact that they're a loose society of clans and tribes that quite are respectful of nature itself, of the land and the creatures and things that live there. It's told from a Dravanian perspective, all of this writing. So it's almost with them being an outside invading force trying to get back to the land that is owned by the Dravanians. So, no. There is one thing that catches your attention, that there's a group known as the Fenrenders, who more often than not are trying to get to the Barrier Marshes. And they believe, or at least the writer of this book believes, that they're doing that because they're trying to reclaim a monument that they believe sacred. And so they're like
that make Gwen think of the henge.
Yeah, a little bit. It doesn't use those words, but you get the impression that that's putting together what you know. You get the idea that that's possibly why this group is continually coming over.
The Fenrenders.
The Fenrenders. When it comes to looking up the Lake Ward and the Golden Forest, beyond like a general discussion about the history of it, the Lake Dravane itself being used as the place of the signing of the Accords, how the country got its name, that kind of thing. There is one interesting thing that catches your attention, specifically about the Golden Forest. It does say that the eastern end of the Golden Forest is actually mentioned in the Accords itself, and is noted in the Accords that this space is to be perpetually possessed by Erida Wingthrup and her progeny.
Oh, okay. So this goes way back.
Way back. Gaius and Juna, as you're both sat chatting, sort of reading poetry books, finding the naughtiest poetry you can find, I can imagine, from the two of you together. You do just briefly see Gwendolyn walk past you, stack of books in her hand. Slightly odd, because she is wearing librarian's clothes.
Oh, God.
What?
Guy.
And that's where we'll end tonight's episode.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I knew it. I friggin' knew it.
You have been listening to David Knight as your Dungeon Master, Ben Galpin as Orin, Chris Watts as Gaius, Daryl Bailey as Enkidu, Grace Kelly Miller as Gwendolyn, and Vicky Gaskin as Juna. Original music by David Knight. Please tell your friends, subscribe, and follow us on all the social media. Thank you for listening.